There are growing calls to strip Harry and Meghan of their royal titles. The New York Post is reporting that locals in the UK say enough is enough, especially after Prince Harry's disastrous BBC interview, which aired hours after he lost his appeal for taxpayer-funded UK security.
The palace gates have slammed shut. The fairy tale is over. King Charles just delivered the most brutal royal eviction notice in modern history, and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle didn't just lose their titles, they got completely erased from the monarchy's future. This wasn't a gentle nudge toward the exit. This was a full-scale demolition of everything they thought they could cling to while trashing the very institution that made them famous. The allegations are explosive. King Charles has reportedly stripped Harry and Meghan of every single royal privilege, title, and protection they once enjoyed. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex? Gone. The taxpayer-funded security? Vanished. The royal brand they've been milking for millions? Completely severed. This isn't just palace politics. This is personal warfare disguised as royal protocol.
I don't think that we'll see King Charles do this because he's not confrontational. I don't think that he likes the fact that he's been accused of racism towards his grandchildren in Omid Scobie's book.
What makes this move so devastating is the timing. For years, the couple has been playing a dangerous game, using their royal connections to fuel their media empire while simultaneously destroying the reputation of the family that gave them everything. They thought they could have it both ways. Bash the monarchy on global television while keeping the prestigious titles that opened every door in Hollywood. They were wrong. Dead wrong. The public had been screaming for this moment. Petition after petition, headline after headline, all demanding the same thing. Enough is enough. The British people watched in horror as Harry and Meghan turned their royal status into a cash cow, milking every controversy, every family secret, every private moment for content.
Of the royal family, Hugo Vickers, who revealed the late Queen was so fearful of Harry and Meghan that she wouldn't want to be alone with them. Let's just take a listen to that interview.
The patience of an entire nation finally snapped, and King Charles heard the message loud and clear. But the most shocking part? The way it was done. This wasn't buried in some dusty official document or whispered through palace corridors. Charles made sure the world would hear this message. He wanted maximum impact, maximum humiliation, maximum finality. The message was crystal clear. Cross the crown, and you'll face consequences that will echo through history. The final straw wasn't just one moment of betrayal. It was a calculated series of attacks that pushed the royal family beyond their breaking point. Harry's disastrous BBC interview, aired just hours after he lost his legal battle for taxpayer-funded security, was the perfect storm of arrogance and entitlement that finally triggered the nuclear response.
The king wouldn't want to be alone with them either. What more can you tell us from that interview?
That's right. Queen Camilla has to be there, the quote-unquote wicked stepmother, according to Prince Harry. Queen Camilla has to be in the room with King Charles. In the rare moment that he does actually see Prince Harry, we know today he's not even taking his phone calls.
But this interview wasn't just embarrassing. It was strategic sabotage. Harry knew exactly what he was doing when he went on air, knowing full well that his words would be dissected, analyzed, and weaponized against his own family. The timing was deliberate. The message was clear. Even in defeat, he would continue to wage war against the institution that raised him.
The guest list for the upcoming coronation of King Charles is out. After months of speculation, we now know Prince Harry will be attending. His wife, Meghan, however, will not. NBC News correspondent Ali Arouzi joins me now from London. Ali, do we know why Meghan won't be going along with her husband?
Hey, Kate, we don't know much beyond the statements that have...
The British public's reaction was swift and merciless. Social media exploded with outrage. Traditional media outlets that had previously shown sympathy for the couple suddenly turned cold. The narrative that had protected them for years, the story of two young royals escaping an oppressive system, crumbled in real time. What made it worse was the context. While Harry was on television complaining about his treatment, his grandfather Prince Philip was ailing, his grandmother Queen Elizabeth was facing her final months, and his father was preparing for the most important role of his life. The selfishness was breathtaking, the timing was cruel, and the impact was devastating. The interview revealed something that palace insiders had whispered about for years. Harry and Meghan weren't victims of the royal system. They were parasites feeding off it. Every tear, every complaint, every sob story was carefully crafted content designed to generate sympathy, media coverage, and ultimately money.
And Harry, that said that Harry will be attending the ceremony, but Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, will not be attending, will be staying in California with her children. Now, they haven't said why she won't be attending, but there's plenty of speculation going on here. And one of the main reasons is probably that the day that the ceremony is...
The security battle wasn't just about protection. It was about control, entitlement, and a fundamental misunderstanding of how the royal system works. Harry's years-long legal fight to maintain taxpayer-funded security while living in California wasn't just tone-deaf, it was a masterclass in missing the point entirely. Here's the brutal truth. Harry wanted to keep all the perks of being royal while accepting none of the responsibilities. He wanted British taxpayers to fund his lifestyle while he built his media empire in Montecito. He wanted armed protection while he trashed the very institution that justified that protection. The audacity was staggering. The court battles revealed just how far Harry had fallen from royal grace. Legal documents showed a man desperately clinging to privileges he had voluntarily abandoned. The same person who claimed to want privacy and independence was simultaneously demanding that the British government continue to treat him like a working royal. King Charles's decision to pull the plug on this arrangement wasn't just about money, it was about dignity. The monarchy couldn't continue to subsidize two people who had made their fortune by attacking it.
And on that note, that the decree, Richard, that the title will revert to the crown at the time of Edward's passing is quite unusual, isn't it? And do you think that we could start to see Charles stripping through those other titles, Kent or Sussex? Would that revert to the crown?
This is really interesting, and this, to me...
The message was simple. If you want to be independent, be truly independent. If you want to be protected, serve a country that's protecting you. The security removal sends a chilling message to anyone watching. The royal family doesn't just cut ties, they cut lifelines. Without royal protection, Harry and Meghan are just another celebrity couple in a world full of threats. The same fame they've cultivated through royal controversy now makes them targets without the royal shield to protect them. The Spencer name switch wasn't just about honoring his mother's memory, it was about running from the consequences of his actions. Word leaked that Harry had approached his uncle Charles Spencer about dropping the Windsor name entirely, trading his royal heritage for his mother's family connection.
And the whole point was that it was a hereditary title that would be passed on to the sons. And King Charles has said, no, that's not going to happen. It's going to be just for life. But, to me, this undermines the whole case for the monarchy. The monarchy is based on the hereditary principle. We have other royal dukes, as you mentioned, like the Duke of Gloucester. Well, is King Charles going to turn to the very frail and elderly Duke of Kent now and tell him that his son is not going to get his inheritance, which is the title, when he dies? I'd be surprised if that was the case. As well with Prince Richard and Duke of Gloucester, and also, with Harry, that's another...
The timing of this request revealed everything about his state of mind. This wasn't a touching tribute to Princess Diana, this was a panic move. Harry realized that the Windsor name had become toxic to his brand, that his association with the royal family was now hurting more than helping. So he tried to rebrand himself, to ride his mother's legacy like a life raft after burning every bridge to his father's family. The Spencer name change would have been the ultimate insult to King Charles. After everything the family had endured, the attacks, the betrayals, the public humiliation, Harry wanted to officially erase his connection to his father's lineage. It was a move so calculated, so deliberately hurtful, that it exposed the true depth of his resentment. But the request also revealed something else: desperation. Harry knew his royal rebellion was failing. The public was turning against him, his media deals were underperforming, and his attempts to build an independent brand were struggling. The Spencer name wasn't just about legacy, it was about survival. The fact that this information leaked to the media shows just how far Harry had fallen in the eyes of his own extended family. The Spencer family, who had initially supported him, were now apparently willing to let the world know about his desperate attempts to escape the consequences of his choices. The most disturbing revelation wasn't about titles or money, it was about fear. Royal expert Hugo Vickers, dropped a bombshell that shook the foundation of everything we thought we knew about the late Queen's relationship with Harry and Meghan. According to insider sources, Queen Elizabeth was so uncomfortable around the couple that she refused to be alone with them. This wasn't just about awkward family dynamics. This was about a monarch who had faced down prime ministers, world leaders, and constitutional crises, being afraid of her own grandson and his wife. The implications are staggering. What exactly did Harry and Meghan do or say that made the most powerful woman in Britain feel unsafe in their presence? The revelation gets worse. Even King Charles, despite being Harry's father, allegedly requires Queen Camilla to be present during any rare meetings with his son. This isn't just about emotional support, this is about having a witness. The message is clear. The royal family no longer trusts Harry and Meghan to have private conversations. This fear isn't just about personal safety, it's about reputational protection. Every word, every gesture, every moment of vulnerability could be weaponized in their next media appearance. The royal family learned the hard way that nothing is sacred when you're dealing with people who have made their fortune by betraying family confidences. The fact that Charles won't even take Harry's phone calls anymore shows just how complete the breakdown has become. This isn't just a strained father-son relationship, this is a complete severing of communication. The bridge isn't just burned, it's been obliterated. The Netflix deal, the Spotify contract, the Random House book deal, every single one of these massive moneymakers was built on the foundation of royal secrets and family betrayals. Harry and Meghan didn't just leave the royal family, they turned their departure into a multi-million-dollar content factory. The Netflix series was particularly brutal. 6 episodes of carefully crafted victimhood, designed to make Harry and Meghan look like heroes while painting the royal family as cold, calculating villains. Every tear was strategic, every revelation was planned, every moment of vulnerability was performed for maximum impact. But the audience wasn't buying it. Critics called it a pity party, and viewers saw through the carefully constructed narrative. The series that was supposed to cement their status as independent media moguls instead exposed them as opportunistic former royals who couldn't let go of their past. The Spotify deal was even more embarrassing. Despite being paid millions, their podcast output was sporadic, unfocused, and ultimately unsuccessful. The streaming giant quietly moved on, leaving Harry and Meghan scrambling to find new platforms for their content. The book Spare was the final nail in the coffin. Harry didn't just air family dirty laundry. He took a sledgehammer to every relationship, every private moment, every sacred family tradition. He mocked his brother's appearance, questioned his father's parenting, and painted his stepmother as a villain. It wasn't just a memoir, it was a declaration of war. The Archewell Foundation was supposed to be their redemption story, a chance to show the world that they were serious about service, about making a difference, about using their platform for good. Instead, it became another example of their fundamental misunderstanding of what royal service actually means. The Foundation's website reads like a college marketing project, full of buzzwords, vague promises, and carefully staged photo opportunities. Words like compassion and community are scattered throughout their materials, but concrete results are nowhere to be found. The Foundation looks less like a serious charitable organization and more like a tax-efficient way to fund their lifestyle. The real problem with Archewell isn't just its lack of substance, it's how it blurred the lines between charity and commerce. Every foundation event seemed designed to generate media coverage. Every charitable appearance looked like a content opportunity. Every act of service felt like a marketing stunt. This approach fundamentally misunderstands what charitable work means to the royal family. For the monarchy, service isn't about personal branding, it's about duty, consistency, and putting the cause above yourself. Harry and Meghan turned charity into another form of self-promotion, and the public saw right through it. The Foundation's failure isn't just about poor execution, it's about misaligned priorities. They wanted the credit for charitable work without the unglamorous, behind-the-scenes effort that makes real change happen. The global impact of King Charles's decision extends far beyond Britain's borders. Commonwealth countries that once eagerly hosted Harry and Meghan as quasi-royal ambassadors are now quietly backing away. Invitations are vanishing, red carpets are being rolled up, and world leaders are distancing themselves from the toxic Sussex brand. This isn't just about protocol, it's about practicality. No government wants to host diplomats who might turn every private conversation into Netflix content. The couple's track record of betraying confidences has made them radioactive in diplomatic circles. Countries like Canada, Australia, South Africa, and New Zealand initially saw Harry and Meghan as a modern face of the monarchy, young, diverse, and relatable. Now they see them as unpredictable liabilities who bring more drama than dignity to any event. The Commonwealth rejection is particularly painful because it represents the collapse of their original vision. They wanted to be global ambassadors for progressive values, using their royal platform to champion causes they cared about. Instead, they've become cautionary tales about what happens when personal ambition overrides institutional loyalty. This international cold shoulder isn't just about current relationships, it's about future opportunities. The global stage that Harry and Meghan thought would always be available to them is rapidly shrinking. The entertainment industry's initial excitement about the Sussex brand has curdled into cautious distance. What seemed like a golden opportunity to bridge royal tradition with modern media has become a lesson in why some bridges shouldn't be built. Major brands that once courted their endorsement are now nervous about the association. The couple's tendency to turn every business relationship into a platform for personal grievances has made them difficult partners. Nobody wants to sign a spokesperson who might use their platform to air family drama. The Hollywood machine that initially welcomed them with open arms is now treating them like any other celebrity couple with diminishing returns. The royal novelty has worn off, and what's left is two people whose main talent seems to be generating controversy rather than creating compelling content. Their production companies are struggling to find their footing in an industry that rewards consistency, professionalism, and results. The same unpredictability that made them interesting to viewers is making them unreliable to business partners. Even their celebrity allies have gone quiet. The A-list friends who once defended them publicly are now notably absent from their social media, their events, and their public statements. In Hollywood, silence speaks volumes. King Charles's decision to allegedly strip Harry and Meghan of their titles isn't just about family drama, it's about institutional survival. The monarchy recognized that continuing to enable their behavior would ultimately destroy the very institution they swore to protect. This move sends a message that echoes far beyond Buckingham Palace. Actions have consequences, even for princes. The couple gambled their legacy on fame and fortune, betting that their royal connection would always protect them from the fallout of their choices. They lost that bet spectacularly. The titles weren't just ceremonial, they were the only thing that made Harry and Meghan more than just another celebrity couple with a grudge. Without them, they're competing in a marketplace full of influencers, content creators, and media personalities who haven't spent years attacking the institution that made them famous. The world is watching to see what happens next. Can Harry and Meghan survive without the royal brand that made them wealthy? Will they continue their media crusade against the family that rejected them? Or will they finally understand that some bridges, once burned, can never be rebuilt? The crown has made its move. The gates are closed, the titles are gone, and the protection is withdrawn. For the first time in their lives, Harry and Meghan are truly on their own. No royal safety net, no institutional support, no guaranteed audience for their grievances. The fairy tale is over. The real world is just beginning.